Good evening and welcome to Success in the City. My name's Helen Webster. I'm with the lovely
Des Flanagan, and our lovely guest this week is
Kate Martinez.
Thank you, Kate, for joining
Kate.
us. Brilliant. Thanks for joining us tonight. And a massive thank you for Des for stepping in. So Sandra's working tonight. And so Des has kindly stepped in to co-host. He's done it before. He's a legend. He's slick. He knows what's going on. True professional. Host his own show on a Sunday. So we're in good, capable hands, Kate. We're all right. We're safe. We're safe.
Perfect.
So the first thing we do is we shout out to the kids, any little people who've done amazing things this week. Okay. So I'm going to go first. All right. So on Monday, we were in St. Elphin's School in Warrington with Lou, our big interactive playground. And we taught 350 kids who were all gorgeous. The school is lovely. The kids were lovely. The staff were lovely, really welcoming. And they just had a ball. So massive shout out to all the kids there. And I've just come from Holly Lodge School where I'm doing the Girls Network. So I'm a mentor and I get a mentee. So it was we had our matching event last month and then we meet once a month for 10 months and go through stuff. So we had our proper first catch up today in school and she's just gorgeous. She's ace. And the first two people that she mentioned, I know both of them.
You did that last year, Helen, didn't you?
Yeah. I did it last year and I'm doing it this year. Just lovely to give it back, to them. Because they're really cool young people, aren't they? They just need to know how cool they actually are. Yeah. Des, have you got any young people, little people you want to shout out
to? Well, he's not so much young now, but we did have a catch up last week with our apprentice, Helen, Emma Kane, who's flew the nest now and is making his own way and working in a school, And it was great to see how confident and assured he was in everything he was saying, And it just proves that in the right environment, amongst the right people can, So well done, Emmett. And the thing is, he looked really happy as well, which was great, So I'd say not so little now, but he was when we go,
And he's like 6'4".
Well done, Emmett.
Yeah. Well done, big shout out to him. Yeah. What about you, Kate?
Yeah.
I have been in St. Anne's Stanley in Prescott Road today with their Year 5 class and just had an absolute ball. They were brilliant. It's the first. Usually we have schools coming to the Palm House, so it's the first time that we've tried to take the Palm House to the school. So it was really fun and games. Me and Naomi McAllister, our marketing and community manager, literally getting in the car with massive palm leaves that were bigger than both of us to take them for the children. So we had about 3 or 4 palm leaves, bird of paradise leaves, grapefruit, the figs, everything. We kind of took a bit of everything from the Palm House and took it all to St. Anne's Stanley. And the kids were absolutely fantastic. Their knowledge was amazing. The questions I was asking them and they knew the answers was fantastic. And they were so polite. Every child I gave a piece of card to was thank you. And we just had a really, really wonderful afternoon together. So I'm on a high tonight.
Massive shout out. It's gorgeous, isn't it, when you go in and you see things through the eyes of children and the questions they ask and you think, how do they know that? They're just so clever, aren't they? They're just ace.
They're just amazing. Yeah, really, really special. So a big shout out to St. Anne's of Stanley. Thank you for having us.
Brilliant. John Howie's listening in on LinkedIn and he says, Sandra's hair is looking short and grey.
But hopefully it's shiny, John. Hopefully it's shiny.
Yeah, hopefully it's shiny. Okay.
Terrible.
Success this week for you personally, something amazing that's happened to you that can be anything, Kate. It doesn't have to be work related. It can be, some of Sandra's is like she's grown amazing vegetables. She's, being able to get stuff out on the washing, all sorts of things we have. So a success this week for you personally. And we'll start with you, Kate.
Oh gosh, okay. So the reason why I'm on tonight is because I met Sandra on Sunday. So Sandra is doing the Blue Badge training at the moment, and the Blue Badge trainees came to the Palm House on Sunday, and that's how Sandra asked me to come on tonight. And the reason why they came to the Palm House is because we have just completed the White Badge training, and we are the first place in the whole of Liverpool to have done it. So the way that like Blue Badge is the whole of Liverpool, so Sandra will be learning how to do a coach tour. A White Badge is just for one area, so we've only studied the Palm House and how to guide around the Palm House, which, because I've worked at the Palm House for 13 years, I kind of thought I was going to ace it. I was like, oh yeah, I'll do that, no problem, do it in my sleep. But oh no, it was really a lot more than I thought, because all of the statues around the Palm House, like I learned all the history of the men who are around it, the history of the Peter Pan statue, just it went into it in so much more detail than I realized, and it was absolutely incredibly interesting. But the reason why I don't even know if I've passed yet, we're waiting for our results, but the reason why I've said it as my biggest success is I haven't done an exam since I graduated in like 2001. So just putting myself back into that exam situation and sitting and doing the written exam, and then there was a practical element, and kind of putting yourself out of your comfort zone, I think it's a really positive thing to do every now and then. And as hard as it was, and I didn't know what I was taking on, but afterwards when I reflected, I thought, even if I did know, and even if I knew what I know now about how much work it's going to be, would I still do it? And the answer is yes, because I enjoyed it so much. I learned so much, and I think it was a good thing to kind of put myself out there and put myself to the test, and hopefully I'll pass.
Yeah, you will. Fingers round all this sound, you'll definitely pass. So when you were doing your practical,
Well done, Kate. That's nice.
Do you then take like the examiners or around and give them a guided tour?
Yeah, so there's so the practical exam is 2 examiners, and you get given 16 points, and you have to learn off by heart with no notes at all, no flashcards, nothing. 5 minutes for each point, and they will just say, right, Des, take us to Peter Pan. Helen, take us to Henry the Navigator, and you have to just take them wherever they say and do 5 minutes completely without any script at all. But you have to, even though you only do 2 or 3 in the exam, you have to learn all 16, because you don't know which one they're going to give you.
And do they know everything about the statues and things as well, or can you black it?
No. If you say can you flag it? No. If you say they have it all, because you're not allowed notes, but they have the notes. So literally, if you say a wrong fact, instant fail.
No.
So you've got to know your stuff. Yeah.
Well, the tourists don't know, do they? When they're coming.
Great stuff, Helen. We can't be making it up.
Every now and again, the little scouser comes up on Helen's shoulder.
But it was no, so it was quite a lot to kind of just, and obviously, like with anything, you've got your favorites, haven't you? And then you're kind of thinking, oh, please pick one of those ones to ask me. But it was great, and I think there's something about putting yourself in those situations,
definitely,
and getting your brain going again.
Yeah, brilliant. Oh, I love that. Well done, and you'll pass. You'll be great. You'll be amazing. What about you, Des? What's your success this week?
Well, it's kind of this week and last week. I've picked 2 new contracts up this month for the cleaning business, so I'm made up about that. We're slowly getting back to where we were before the lockdown, so yeah, so I'm happy the way that's going, So sorry to talk about work, but it is a little success. So I'm made up.
Yeah,
I'm made
brilliant.
up.
You can talk about work. That's fine. That's your success. That's fine.
Yeah, but
mine's not work related.
Yeah, well, it is. Yeah.
Yeah, mine's
Okay.
not work related. Mine is that we went out on Saturday at 2:00 in the afternoon. I got in at 12 o'clock and I woke up without a hangover. That's my success. So
Well, that's good. Yeah.
Blake's, who is so my friend Rach works with Blake's, and they are furniture company, and they were having their like a works night out, and then Mike couldn't go, so there was 2 spare tickets. So Phil and I got the spare ticket, so that was brilliant. And we went to the new place, Gravity Max on in the old Debenhams building on the top. It is by like Liverpool 1. So we did go-karting, and I came second. Charlie won, but I came second, so I was made up with that. Then we went over to Crazy Golf, and then I failed miserably. I was leading, and then I just had a nightmare of a hole. And then we went out and had a couple of drinks around town and something to eat, and it was just a fab night. Got in, got up the next day, didn't have a hangover, so I was absolutely delighted. So that's my success this week. Yeah, so there you go.
It looked great, that Helen, by the way. That Gravity place.
So
was like a steady stream?
Chocker, absolutely chocker block.
Oh, was it
like a huge, big, massive, like a big, massive arcade with loads of machines and things. But then they've got 10-pin bowling, golf, the go-kart, loads of stuff going on. But it's a cool place to go. So
sounds like
go check it out once.
Doesn't it?
Oh, it's huge, and it's on 2 floors. It's huge, absolutely massive. Yeah,
2 floors.
But yes, it was good. Yeah, it was good. So the lovely Kate is on our show. Kate is from the Palm House in Sefton Park. So thank you, Kate, for joining us tonight. We're going to play this or that, and then we'll find out even more about Kate as we go along. So I am going to... Do you want to start, Des, or do you want me to start?
Yeah, okay, let's start. Yeah.
Go.
Right. If you're going for a walk, where would you rather go? Would you rather go along the beach, along the water's edge, where the waves gently lapping your feet? Or would you like to be the first one in a park on fresh snow, freshly laying snow?
Beach all day long.
It's a good one,
beach.
Okay.
I think I'd like to. I love being the first person to be the step in the snow.
Hello.
I just think it's I think it brings
one,
like an inner child out.
Yeah. But I like the little crunch you get when it's first fell.
Yeah.
And I like that sound. It's like a sound effect on a movie, isn't it? But I like that sound. The little.
I only like the snow. I only like the snow if I'm inside. If I'm inside looking out at it, I'm okay. I don't want to be in it. So I'm definitely beach all day long.
And I think if Sandra was listening in, she'd say beach as well. Yeah. That's a good one, Des. And that's quite unusual because mine is slightly on the same sort of theme-ish, So I'm going to ask Kate first. Kate, do you prefer autumn or spring?
Oh God, that's a hard one. Summer or winter, I'd answer much easier. I think autumn because the colours of the leaves are so beautiful. I do love the red tree, you know, when the leaves are all going red and it looks so stunning.
Yeah. What about you, Des?
Yeah. Oh, definitely spring. I love spring. It's my favourite season, and it's you can't beat a nice fresh spring morning. You know, I was going to say to go for a swim in a lake, but that's not me. but you can't beat a nice spring morning. You know, so that's my favourite. That's my favourite season. Or and stuff like that. You know. So
My favourite season is
no,
spring.
definitely spring for me. Yeah.
Yeah. My favourite season is spring, but I love the autumn colours. So when I was thinking of the question, I was thinking, oh, I love the autumn. And I think the autumn, as you say, Kate, it's magical, isn't it? And I'd love to go to New England in the fall, and you can follow the season. You can follow the trees, can't you? You know, for it's about 3 weeks, and you follow the colours. It's supposed to be magic.
It's great. We drove from Boston to Montreal once, and we're obviously going through New England, and the colours are spectacular. They really are. And it was at autumn time, you know. It was great. Everyone just stops the car and starts taking photographs. It's spectacular, you know.
Yeah.
But,
yeah. I'd love that.
There you go.
Brilliant. My Uncle
Good.
Ron's listening
Nice.
in. Hang on, Des. My Uncle Ron's listening in. Okay.
Yeah.
And my Uncle Ron says, congratulations on 3 great years. That's opened a window on what great and caring people we are lucky to have in Merseyside. Without success in the city, we would not have known of these unsung heroes and heroines. Well said, Uncle Ron. So, Kate, it was our 3rd birthday last year.
Isn't that lovely?
Yeah. And Uncle Ron's our biggest fan. Go on, Des, your go.
Well done, Ron. Okay, second one. Right, you're at the airport and you're going on a 3-hour flight. Now, do you buy a book that you can read from cover to cover on the flight, like one of these self-help books? Or do you buy a novel that you start on the flight and you will continue reading on your holiday? What kind of book would you buy at the airport?
A novel.
Would you?
But I'd already have about 7 packed and about 10 more downloaded on my audiobook. So I'd just be adding more. I can't, I've got a real addiction to books. So yeah, definitely just be adding to the stack.
Yeah. So my thing is that I have to buy a new book in the airport. Every time I go, whether I've got a book or anything, I have to buy a new book at the airport. So I do read lots of like personal development books, but I think if you're going on your holiday, a trashy novel is great that you can just. I can't read on a plane because there's too much going on. But you want like a little trashy novel that you can just pick up and put down. Doesn't really, you haven't got to concentrate. So yeah. What about you, Des?
No, I'd like a book that I'm going to read on the flight and probably leave on the plane for the next person that gets on. You know, I don't read when I go away much. Hopefully, I'm going somewhere interesting that I won't have time to read. So, no, I just like a book on a flight and I'll leave it there. You know, yeah.
Brilliant. Okay.
Do you listen to any audiobooks?
Easy.
I love an audiobook.
No, I like, if I'm going to read a book, I like to read it. I don't really like to listen to them. I like to read them, you know. But no, it was so that on a plane, I just get a book that I can finish on the flight itself, you know.
Yeah, very good. Yeah.
Very helpful.
Okay, that's all right. Okay, Kate. Now you're nearly, you're going to be white badge accredited and everything else. Would you rather go on a coach tour or be the tour guide?
Oh, that's hard. Because I love both. I love going to new places and learning off other people, but I have really, really enjoyed learning how to guide as well. I love seeing things like with new eyes and seeing other people's reactions to things the first time. So I'm gonna say tour guide. I think that's only because I've just done the training. So I think that's a different answer from what I would have given a few weeks ago.
Brilliant. Well done. What about you, Des? Would you rather go on a tour or be a tour guide?
I think it will depend on what the tour guide was or what the facility was. So I think I'd probably go on the tour. I think I'd like to go on the tour. Yeah.
As you've just heard, I couldn't be
I
a
like
tour
that kind
guide
of stuff. I like learning.
Yeah. I couldn't be a tour guide because I just blanked the answers if I didn't know. So probably I should go on more tours so I'd know more. So the gorgeous Carolyn's listening in. And Carolyn, hi Helen, lovely to see the fab Kate with you. So Kate, Carolyn is giving a big shout out to you.
Thank you for being there, always supporting.
She's gorgeous. She's a gorgeous human, Carolyn. She's gorgeous. Go on, Des. Your last one.
Okay. You're in a symphony orchestra. It's a big show on the Royal Albert Hall, and you get to do a solo. But are you playing the piano or the violin?
Oh. God, no one wants to hear me play or sing anything.
So in other words, what would you rather play, the piano or the violin? Yeah, piano. Right. What about you, Ellen?
Piano. I love you've got to be a really, really good violinist to play it well. You know what I mean? Whereas a piano, if you do a little wrong, you're all right. You don't get that squeaky noise, do you, on the violin? So what would wrong with you, Des?
You can't blag it on the Royal Albert Hall, Helen. No, it's mine would be piano as well. I like to play the piano, but you wouldn't be able to drop a note at the Albert Hall. You know, yeah. So piano's a lovely instrument, isn't it?
Yeah, it's beautiful. Okay, my last one. Kate, are you sunrise or sunset?
So I think this has changed as I've got older. So when I was young, sunset all day long, but now that I'm older, sunrise. I love having a full day ahead of me and to enjoy. So yeah, sunrise.
What about you, Des?
Do you know what? That's exactly the answer I would have given, Kate. When I was younger, it would have been sunset, but now it's sunrise. Yeah, definitely.
And I'm going to be dead boring and say that would be the same answer as I would give.
I know. So it must be an age thing.
Yeah, definitely.
Unless you're in a Ibiza on a mambo.
Oh, yeah.
But anyway.
Then it'd be going out at sunrise and coming home at sunset.
Absolutely.
If the other way around, it'd be going out at sunset and coming home at sunrise. Yeah.
You just didn't worry, did you, about like wasting the day or anything? It didn't matter. Whereas now, if you sleep, I don't know about you, but if I sleep in, I'm like, oh, that's such a waste of a day. And like, I feel like I want to make the most of my time.
So Sandra Marshall's listening.
When I'm off now.
I know.
Oh, the lovely sound.
Yeah, Sandra Marshall says, well done, Kate. And Leon McCowan says, the big guests just keep coming on. And what a super sub Des is.
Oh, well, thank you, Leon. You're not too bad yourself. No, good lad, Leon. Good lad.
We've got the lovely Kate from Sefton Park Palmhouse, but I'm sure she's done something else before she started working there 13 years ago. So we're going to start, Kate, from I don't know what you've done before, how you got to the Palm House. Tell us all the exciting stuff the Palm House does, and Des and I will ask questions as we go along. So I'm going to hand it over to Kate and say a massive thanks for giving us your time tonight.
Oh, thank you so much for inviting me. Okay, so life story. So I went to school in Liverpool. I'm from Liverpool, born and bred. When I left school, I went to university in Leeds. Love Leeds. It's a great city, and it felt like a nice distance away. So it was like a step away from home, but still close enough to be able to come back for weekends or whatever, whenever I wanted to. So hopefully lots of university students are just starting to enjoy their university time now. I had a brilliant time there, loved it. Particularly loved the summer holidays because I very quickly realised that there wasn't many opportunities in life when you were going to get 3 months off. So really squeezed the entire every day of those 3 months. So after my first year in uni, I went and worked in Greece for a summer.
Wow.
Had an absolute ball in Crete. I was just working in a bar in Crete. And then when I finished working, I went island hopping and I just absolutely loved it. I had a ball. Then after my second year, I went and did Camp America. Again, amazing experience. Just loved it. Had a brilliant time. After camp, went traveling around the States with some people that I made friends with when I was in camp. I just bought this like train ticket pass, which did the whole of the East Coast. So, and talking about our age before, it just makes me laugh because I did stuff then that you just would plan to like a ridiculous degree now. But the camp I was at was just outside New York City, and I remember just hopping on the train and we were just like, oh, let's just go to Miami, not realizing that we were going to be on the train for 30 hours. Just like hopped on like I was going like to Manchester. 30 hours later got off in Miami. But yeah, I had an absolute ball doing that. And then
I bet you that was a big novel, Kate, wasn't it?
yeah, I wasn't as much as a bookworm then. And then after went back, did my final year at uni, and then 10 days after I graduated, I went and lived in Japan.
Wow. What did you study, Kate?
Computers and management studies, nothing at all what I've ended up doing.
Brilliant.
I was the first person from my family to go to uni, and I remember my mum just being like, just pick your favourite A-level. And so that's what I did, but actually just ended up finding my feet and finding my interests along the way. So it was just more as a stepping stone and opening doors. So yeah, went off to Japan. I worked on a program called the JET program, Japanese Exchange and Teaching. Not at all, because I particularly wanted to go to Japan. It was just completely by fluke. So I knew that I wanted to go traveling after I'd finished studying, and I didn't have any money saved up at all. And I was with one of my friends, and we were walking home from one of our lectures, and he wanted to go to the job fair. There was a job fair in the university. I was at Leeds Uni. And he was like, oh, I just want to pop in here. And I was like, oh, I'm not interested in going to the jobs fair. I know that I'm not looking for a job straight after uni. I know I want to go traveling, but I'll have to probably go home and save up for a bit or whatever. And he was like, well, look, I only want to go to one stall. Just come on in, wait with me for 5 minutes, and now we can walk home together. So I was like, okay. So we went in, and he was looking at KPMG. And then they must have done it alphabetically. So next to the K was the J, the JET program. So I wasn't going to spend a second looking at KPMG, but I looked at the JET program, and I picked it up, and I thought, Japan? Well, I've never thought of Japan, but then I've never thought not to Japan either. And it was an amazing program because they funded it completely, so I didn't have to come home and sit and work and save up to be able to go. They paid for your flights, they subsidized your accommodation, the entire thing was set up for you perfectly. So I was like, why on earth not? So literally just applied, got it and everything. And 10 days after I graduated, I was on a plane to Japan. And I remember getting in the car in Liverpool, and they've been sending, this shows how old I am, they've been sending like CDs of Japanese for you to learn. But of course, I was doing my finals, so I was busy studying everything that I needed to pass. So these CDs were not going on. And then after I'd finished my finals, it was all the parties and then all the goodbyes. So the first time that CD went into a player was in the car driving to Heathrow to go and board to go and live in Japan. Me and my dad were in the car, and it got to 1 to 10 in Japanese, and my dad went, I can't listen to that the whole way to London. Turn it off. So literally that was my preparation for going and living on the other side of the world. And it was absolutely amazing. It was one of the best experiences of my life. Got off in Tokyo, could not speak a word, made the most amazing friends. I was placed, so you had a couple of days in Tokyo and then you went off to where you were placed. And I was placed in the middle of nowhere in the mountains of rural Japan.
Wow.
Could not have been anywhere better, because they just took me in with all of their arms and just wrapped me up. I was the only foreigner in the village.
Wow.
So everybody knew me. And because I taught in the kindergarten and the elementary and the junior high, there wasn't a high school. They had to then travel because it was too rural. I taught every single child from 5 to 15. So they just like welcomed me with the biggest, warmest open arms. And can you believe this? The middle of rural Japan in the mountains, I got taken in as the surrogate daughter of the biggest Beatles fan I've ever met in my whole life. He took over the local park, which was called UU Land, on the 8th of December every year to have a John Lennon tribute concert. And the whole village comes and they have this big concert, and there's me in the middle of Japan.
Wow.
So obviously they were just delighted to have a Scouser.
Yeah.
And I remember the first year when I got there, that's why I cringed so much at your question before, Des, because I can't sing or play a note. And obviously they were having this big concert and they were like, Kato-san, sing us like a Beatles song. And I was like, oh my God, no one wants to hear this. So I was trying to like sing but have the microphone like as far away from my voice as possible, and like dancing to kind of like keep moving it. And the headline of the town paper the next day was Miss Kate dances very excitedly.
Oh,
so that was brilliant.
Like being home from home, Kate. Yeah.
Oh, honestly, it really was. It absolutely was. And it just led to so many great things, because obviously just the best friends that I made there. But actually, I ended up meeting my husband because he was doing an internship at an architect, because he's an architect, at an architect's company in Japan. And then so he was in Japan at the same time that I was. So it's just unbelievable how things work out, really.
And then did you come back to Liverpool from Japan?
So no, not Liverpool. So Al was doing for architecture, you have to do like a different part. So after your part 1, you go and do like work experience before your part 2. So he was doing his work experience and then came back and was doing his part 2 in London. And so I moved from Japan to London and taught in London for a couple of years while he was finishing off. And then it was when we were looking at getting married and buying a house. We actually Googled, went on Rightmove of like putting, and I was, teaching and he was an architect. So it's not, we were earning, okay salaries, but we put it in. And the only thing that came up that we could afford was a £96,000 car parking space in London. We didn't even have a car. So we were like, I think it's time. I think now it's time to go home where we can like move on to the next step in our lives and, buy a house and get married. And we've now got a 14-year-old son. So, and so I came back and worked in Nosey Community College.
Huh?
loved it there. It was brilliant. It's now, I think it's now a housing estate, because I was at the one in Rupert Road in Hayton. Loved it. Absolutely loved it there. Still got amazing friends from that time. And then after I had Theo, I didn't want to go back to work full time. I was lucky enough not to have to. Very blessed, obviously. You know, not all mums have that choice, but I chose to work evenings and weekends so that we're like ships in the night. So Al was in work in the day, and then I'd go in to work evenings and weekends, which is how I got the events job at the Palm House. So I started just on a 16-hour a week part-time events job. And obviously I've just really loved it, because I've never left. I've moved around and done, I think this is about my 5th role in the Palm House, and absolutely loved all of them. So I went from doing the evenings and weekends, and then when he started school, I then moved into the office and then moved on like that. Yeah.
Okay, before we talk about the Palm House, can I just take you back to Japan a minute?
Yeah, of course.
Because you were in a rural part, I'm guessing not many people spoke English.
No,
and I'm
there was
guessing
one
you were
lady.
Japanese. How did you get on?
No, there was one lady. So they teamed me up with a Japanese teacher of English, Akimi, who is still I call her my sister. And I will say, Daz, I just became really amazing at charades. Like, I could act out pretty much anything. It was really, really impressive what I could do with my hand gestures and my face. They're just so accommodating that they just like really bent over backwards to try to help me. And I can't even explain it, because I couldn't speak a word of Japanese and most of them couldn't speak a word of English, but somehow we just got on, and we'd have a really good laugh together.
It's amazing.
It is. But then there was other people who'd gone on the JET program. It's quite a big program, so they're called Jets who go on it. So you'd have like that community. There just wasn't another Jet in my village, but there were other villages. Like my best friend Michelle, who's now she's Scottish, so she now lives in the Shetlands. She was about 20 minutes, half an hour, and she was in a small city. So I'd go and stay in hers a hell of a lot, or she'd come to me. So we had like a really tight community. And in fact, we had a bit of a get together recently for Eurovision, because even some of them, the Jets who were not Canadian, and were massive Eurovision fans, so they came over, and then the Scottish ones came down, everything, and we hadn't been together for 11 years, and you would literally think it was like not even 11 minutes. We were instantly just like together again, because when you're in those situations where you have very limited people who can speak your language and you don't have any friends or family from home, those connections, like, they are my family. Like they just became like blood to each other. We just relied on each other so much. So it's really special to have those kinds of connections. And I just, if anyone young is listening, I would definitely say do it. Just go and experience the world. It's an amazing thing. And while I was there, I had a great chance to travel a lot because I was on that side of the world. So I went to like Sri Lanka, Thailand, Australia, Vanuatu, because I kind of thought, well, I'm kind of halfway there, so I may as well kind of
carry on.
Go to rather than having to go from home. Vanuatu was amazing. Honestly, that's just one of the best places I've ever been to still.
Lovely. I love it. I'm going to take you back to the Palm House. I'm going to bring you forward. Sorry. So events and things in the Palm House when you first started, you know, evenings and weekends, are we talking weddings and bits and pieces and things like that?
Yeah. So I started doing the events in the Palm House, which was a lot of weddings and you know, the tea. So today we've had a jazz afternoon. They've been going the whole time that I've been there, and the tea dancers, sing-alongs, all of the very lovely and popular events that we have going on. But it's grown massively over the last 13 years. So the change has been absolutely phenomenal to kind of watch from being involved in it. I feel very lucky.
So the jazz afternoons and the tea dances and things, they're there's no charge for them, is there? Or is there a
No, they're
minimum?
free.
Yeah.
They're free. So the way that the Palm House works, it's an amazing setup. I think it's a fantastic model. Sandra Marshall, who just said
Sandra
hello.
says no one wants to hear Kate sing.
No one does. No one wants to hear Kate sing. She's right. So Sandra and I work really closely together. So she does all the private hires, so things like the weddings and corporate events. And then I do all the community events. So we kind of joke in the office that she brings in all the money that I can then spend. So, you know, I feel like I have the good side of that deal. But it's fabulous because it's, you know, if you do have your wedding or event at the Palm House, what you're funding is amazing community events for people to enjoy for free. So we have over 300 free community events every single year. The next one that we've got, so we had one today, and then we've got on Thursday, we've got creative writing workshops, one in the morning and one in the afternoon, that are going to be led by some artists. They're going to be absolutely gorgeous, and you've got the chance to just come along and join them in for free. So it does work so well at the Palm House. We're really lucky.
And it's a beautiful, beautiful venue.
Yeah.
I was going to say, I met a guy about 2 weeks ago from Nottingham, and it was on a Saturday. Obviously, because he wasn't from Liverpool, we started talking, and that's where he was on his way to. He was on his way to a wedding at the Palm House.
Oh,
and he'd come
amazing!
up from Nottingham this game. Yeah. So what did you
It's
say?
a beautiful venue. Beautiful venue.
It's a
you know, when
great
you look
venue.
at the photographs, you know that the photographs are spectacular, aren't they? And you know, it's amazing. So you went from event. What did you move
into?
And
I don't know, like how much you believe in it, but I definitely do. And it has, you know, it has been researched. There is something about being in nature. You know,
100%.
Whatever you feel like, if you just go and spend some time sitting in the Palm House, you just, I don't know, you can just feel it like lifting off you. There's magic in the Palm House and in nature in general, and so it's a gorgeous place to go, whether you want to go to an event or you want to just go and read your book or chill out or just watch the world go by. I personally just love being there, so it's very lucky to love where you were. I'm just being joined. I don't know if you can see.
Mine's fast asleep on the couch. So what are the opening times, Kate, of the Palm House? If people wanted to come, just generally, what are the opening times?
10 till 4, unless there is an event on. So we do always recommend checking our website, www.palmhouse.org.uk, or giving us a call in the office, which is 0151 726 9304, where we will be more than happy to just check the date for you and see if there's anything on. So yeah, we don't, you know, so that people who are getting married plan their weddings massively in advance, so we do know when we're going to be opening and closed far in advance, so please just check it. But apart from when it's closed, it's 10 till 4.
Brilliant. And there's a gorgeous cafe, you know, people can have cups of teas and coffees and cakes.
Yeah.
Kate, I was just going to ask, I know it's being used as a location for film shoots and stuff like that, but can you hide the venue to put drama on, to put a play on?
Yeah, you can use the Palm House for whatever you want to use it for.
Okay. So a couple of years ago, they did White Christmas in the Palm House, and they showed the film of White Christmas.
All right.
And Phil and I went, so they have like a big cinema screen within the Palm House, and it's a lovely setting because it's you know, because it's dark and it was lovely. And Autism in Motion, who've been previous guests of ours. So the gorgeous Joe. And I know she'd commented that you were on tonight, Kate.
Yeah, I love
and-
working with Jo. She's absolutely amazing. What a superstar she is. So we work really closely with Jo. She comes in and trains all of our staff and our volunteers. So every staff member and volunteer is autism friendly and dementia friendly, like dementia friends, because that we just think that way you make sure that you know how to welcome everyone. We're just everyone friendly. So she came, and when we were changing uniform, she helped us to make sure that we picked muted colours that were suitable and weren't too overpowering. She's advised, so we do have loads of events, but also with Jo's guidance, actually that can be too much for some people living with autism. So we've brought in Quiet Mondays. So if you do want to come on a day where there's not going to be a loud event, then a Monday is your best day, because that's a quiet Monday. So Jo works with us loads. She's absolutely amazing.
And you do Calm in the Palm, don't you?
Praises enough.
You do Calm in the Palm. So Calm in the Palm, for anyone who doesn't know, is anybody who works in the neurodiverse world in Liverpool all meet and offer like all the service providers things, and it's an information gathering day and a catch up with everybody. So it's a great event. So Kate, my mum's listening.
Is brilliant. It
sorry.
really is brilliant. Oh, sorry. I was just going to say, Calm in the Palm is fantastic, because if you do ever kind of go down that road as a parent and your child is diagnosed with anything, you kind of just at the end of it get this letter with a list of places, and then you, after having the exhausting journey of going through the whole diagnosis process, then have to have the extra energy of reaching out to everyone. And sometimes that's just a step too far. You're just like, oh my goodness, I'm just drained by this process. So what Jo does is she brings everyone together, and then you can come on that day and go round all the different stalls and speak to people face to face. You're not emailing or phoning anymore. And I just think she pulls off an incredible day. So yeah, definitely it coincides with World Autism Day. So it's the end of March, beginning of April every year. So date for people's diaries, and a big shout out to the lovely Jo.
Yeah, definitely. My mum's listening in, Kate. So my mum's in a choir, and they sing all round. And so she said she's trying to sing at the Palm House, but with forever without success. So we'll connect your mum with whoever you need to speak to about So they've got a nice, a beautiful choir. They were singing in Port Sunlight Village a couple of weeks ago. So they've got a lovely pastoral choir. It's very nice.
Oh yeah, just pass on my email. Carolyn, who commented before, she sung in the summer with her choir. She's in the Rainbow Choir, the Rainbow Chorus, and that was a brilliant day. We also do, if we can't fit the choir in either capacity wise or space wise, because some choirs are just too big for our little stage, we use the bandstand in the park. So we have free concerts on throughout the summer in the bandstand in Sefton Park, which has just been brilliant. I don't know if you've been to any of them, but it's been fantastic. Carolyn's husband, Michael, does his Beatles tribute band there. They're absolutely brilliant. And it means that people with dogs, because the Palm House has no dogs except assistance dogs, can bring like their own picnic and their dog and everything, and still listen to live music and enjoy the bandstand. So it's brilliant.
So my Uncle Ron's just commented that the choir would shatter the glass. That's her big brother, so he can get away with that.
I don't believe it.
That's hilarious. So
Not
I know you've been
on.
doing a project, Kate, with the bird boxes.
Yeah.
So I'd love you to tell us very quickly, within like 3 or 4 minutes, about the bird box project.
Oh gosh, okay, challenge set. I'm sure you can tell I like talking. Okay, so my current role in the Palm House, my 5th, I think it is that I'm leading on the National Lottery Heritage fund projects, which is loads of different things. There's 24 different projects within that one project. You might have seen the new signs that have gone up around Sefton Park and also Welcome into the Palm House. That's part of them. There's loads of different things of it. But one of them is to develop a gift box for local resident care homes. And so I put out a brief, and Katie Bell, a teacher from St. Nicholas's, applied to the brief, and she was successful in her application. And so I went into the school, and they are making the 10 bed tables for the residential care homes in their DT lessons. But the project has grown wings, for want of a better expression, when it's bed tables.
Nice little link.
It's been, just came to me then. I'll have to remember that one. Because it's just like, literally, when I put out the brief, it was just, to look for an artist to make some bed tables, and that was kind of all it was going to be. But it has grown and developed and is now so much more than that. So the students who are doing DT and making the bed tables, the art students are making they're decorating a wooden box. So every nursing home is going to get their own bed table and also a box that goes with it, a wooden box. The photography students are taking the photographs that are going to go inside the box as a gift as well. The school are inviting the residential care homes that are a part of the project for a Christmas lunch at the school, which is just gorgeous, above and beyond. The choir are going to sing them in. The drama students are doing an excerpt from their Christmas play for the residents. Like, literally, the school have taken this small opportunity and ran with it. Like, it's been amazing to see. And so in March, when everything's finished, the residential care homes and the school are all going to be invited to the Palm House for a celebration where the children who have made the bed tables will be able to actually give them to the residential care homes. I didn't want to just go and pick them up and hand them out. The kids who made them need to be handing that over. So that's going to be held at the Palm House on the 6th of March. But it's grown even more than that, because we've got a bird cage winter exhibition on this winter, which is a professional exhibition that anyone can come and see. And so the children's bed tables are now going to be part of this professional public exhibition as well. So people will be able to come and see the children's artwork alongside the artist's work as well. So it's just amazing.
Well, what an amazing opportunity for a young person to be able to, be part of that. That's just incredible. Jan Railton's listening, and she says, hi, everyone. We all say hi back to Jan.
Hi, Jan.
So coming up in the Palm House then, what's on, Kate? What can we be looking forward to? How can people get involved with, or, if you need volunteers or anything like that, how can people get involved in the Palm House?
Yeah, so the best thing to do is to look on our website, www.palmhouse.org.uk, or any of the social medias at all, or phone us, or pick up one of these What's On guides, because there's lots coming up. We're always looking for volunteers, and the volunteers at the Palm House are an amazing group. They're absolutely lovely. They're so warm and welcoming, and it leads to so much more than just volunteering at the Palm House. They have their own walking group, book club, knitting club. They go on theatre visits together. It's a real social hive. They're just fantastic. But coming up, so on Thursday, we've got the Artist in Residence Creative Writing Workshop, completely free. You just need to book your spot on Ticket Quarter. And then next week, we've got a Being Human festival event with John Moores University, which is going to be brilliant. And then the 17th, 18th and 19th of November is the Winter Market, which is always really popular and really well attended. Definitely start to get us in that Christmas feel. And then the 21st of November, we've got a sing-along. And the 24th of November is the next free workshop as part of the winter Birdcage exhibition, which is a singing workshop. So your mum might be interested in coming to that. It's completely free, and the voices that are recorded, the artists are going to 3 schools, but they're also coming to the Palm House on that day and recording the school children and then the people at that workshop singing. And then in the bed boxes that are going to be displayed around the Palm House, it will be their voices singing out from the bed boxes. I promise you all, it will not be my voice.
Oh, I was just going to say, me and Sandra will turn up and do a bit of singing, but we need singing lessons.
Yeah.
So maybe we could do a trio, me, you, and Sandra, Kate. That might be
Oh God, no one wants to hear that.
You haven't heard me and Sandra.
And then we'll finish off the month with a craft club on the 26th of November, which is also free. We have a monthly craft club, one Sunday a month, 1 till 3 o'clock. Everything, including the craft and the materials and the teacher, is all there, completely free. It's a lovely, lovely thing to get involved in. And then we will end the month with a Homotopia event. We're part of the Homotopia Festival. And then it'll be December, and we will be having our Birdcage Winter Exhibition, which is completely free. I know it's a really expensive time of the year, so come along and enjoy that, because it's going to be really magical.
Amazing.
That will be open. So because of I know I said our opening hours were 10 till 4 normally, but for the exhibition, it's going to be 10 till 8. So people will have the opportunity to come after school and work to enjoy it.
Brilliant. So there's loads going on. I've put the website on and anything that comes up on the Palm House web, we'll share it on Success in the City page, and people can get in touch with us. They can get in touch direct to the Palm House and find out what's on, because it's really important to support local people and local people doing just cool things, isn't it? And then they go on to support the community. So massive thank you, Kate, for sharing all that with us. You've been a fabulous guest. We haven't finished yet, because those people normally listen in for the red face moment. All right, Sandra's not here. So do you have a red face, Des?
Well, it wasn't actually me, but it was Lynn, and I have asked permission if I can tell it, because it is funny, and it will be funnier for you, Helen, because you know Lynn. I think it was Thursday, we go out really early in the morning, right? And it was 6:30 in the morning. It was raining, and I've got a white car, and I pulled in to the shop on Muirhead Avenue. Lynn gets out, runs in, but where she got out, it was like a puddle. So I moved up a bit, so when she come out, she didn't have to negotiate the puddle, While she was in the shop, another white car pulled on behind me. Lynn comes out, it's raining, so she runs, opens the fella's car, and because it's the puddle, she had to stride over it and put her foot in and realised it wasn't our car. So that was that. And she gets back in my head. Oh, you know what I've just done? You know what she's like Julie Andrews, isn't she? And so that was a hilarious. I laughed all the way then.
That's
the time,
probably
so
one of the funniest red faces. That's brilliant. Yeah. I love that. That's genius. What about you, Kate?
Oh, do you know, I'm really struggling to think of something, because I just don't really get embarrassed. When we were saying before about age, I think now I just laugh at myself and then move on. I'm not really that bothered. But so I was asking in the office before I left work, because I was saying I've got to have an embarrassing story, and I can't. I do embarrassing things practically every day, but I'm just not embarrassed about them because I don't care. So I was really, really struggling with what to say about this. So these are suggestions from the girls in work that they remember of me that they thought was funny. So Colette, the lovely Colette, hello if you're listening. She always remembers that one Global Scouts Day. So we always have an event for Global Scouts Day every February. Liverpool TV came into the Palm House to film the event that we were having on, and the girl who was interviewing me for it asked me on TV how I cook my scouse, and I didn't want to say I don't cook it because it was like Global Scouse Day. So I tried to pretend that I knew what I was talking about. Said something like, Colette was quoting me, she said something like, you just said, oh, you just throw it all in without clarifying what it is and leave it for hours. And apparently that's just, I was just like, oh, just lash it all in and just leave it for hours and you'll be fine. And Colette was remembering that and saying she was just watching me thinking, what the hell are you talking about? So that was hers. I'm trying to remember what Naomi's was now. Naomi had one that she thought was funny as well. And it's completely gone out of my mind. I'm sorry. It might come back to me while you're doing yours, Helen.
So I haven't got one. I've been quite cool this week. Nothing really. I've been all right for about 4 weeks. So something major is going to happen to me soon. Because it shouldn't last that long. And Sandra, I think, has been a bit all right for a couple of days. So we're going to come up with some belters. So we're going to do a shout out to the grown-ups. Any grown-ups who've done amazing things very quickly because we are slightly over time. I'm going to give a massive shout out. So really, really sad news. Danny de Brabander lost his fight against cancer. It's his funeral tomorrow at Port Sunlight Village, at the church in Port Sunlight. It's going to be a massive affair. There's going to be lots and lots of people there. But if you can't make it, there is a link and people can watch it live. And they've basically just said if there's anybody wants to make a donation, Team DDB is going to carry on because they've done such amazing work. So we'll share the posts, and I just want to send all our love to his family and friends because he was an absolute superstar. He really was. And what he did in a short space of time was just absolutely... Yeah, incredible, man. So, shout out to all their family, and we're sending you all the love in the world. What about you, Kate? Who are you going to shout out to?
That was lovely, Helen. Well said. So I would like to shout out to everyone in work. There's just an amazing group of people and wonderful to work with, and even supporting me tonight watching in. So big shout out to them. Carolyn and Joe, and just everyone that I have the look of seeing on a regular basis. And just, hello to you all. Everyone who has anything to do with the house is just absolutely gorgeous. So I'm very lucky to have them in my life.
Brilliant. What about you, Des? Which grown-ups are you shouting out to?
It's a team, actually, Helen. It's the Knowsley Adults Social Care Team. I've observed them over the last 3 weeks, and they go about the job with such genuine empathy, and it's for the less vulnerable, or the vulnerable and less well-off people, shall we say, in society. Those at risk and stuff like that. But it was the genuine compassion that impressed me. So well done to all the Knowsley Adult Social Care Team.
Brilliant. Great shout out. Very quickly, book or podcast that you're reading or listening to at the moment, Kate, that you can share with everybody.
So I recently finished, do you know Fern Brady, the comedian who was on Taskmaster a couple of seasons ago? She's a Scottish comedian. She has written her autobiography about being a woman who was misdiagnosed and then eventually in adult life got diagnosed as autistic, called Strong Female Character. It is absolutely amazing. I would recommend everyone to listen to it. If you listen to it on the audiobook, which I did, she reads it herself. So I think it's got an extra special something because it feels like she's telling you her story herself. But what she went through, I mean, she was put in a mental health unit and misdiagnosed with eating disorders and all kinds of things. because it was undiagnosed autism. And it is, I mean, there's parts of it which you're just crying, it's so heartbreaking, and then there's other parts where you're literally laughing out loud because it's hysterical, because she's a comedian, so it's very dry wit. But yeah, definitely a really good listen for everyone.
Oh, that's great. I've got my new Audible credit today and I haven't spent it, so I could be going with that one. So I'm still reading The 8 Wise Ways, which was Kim Rutherford, who was our guest 2 weeks ago. She's written a book and it's brilliant. Got to say, Kim, very, very good. Very, very good. So I'm still reading that. What about you, Des? Are you reading or listening to anything?
Yeah, I've been listening to the Rest is Politics podcast with Rory Stewart and Alistair Campbell, and I'm impressed that Rory Stewart is a very credible and knowledgeable guy, you know. So and you know, one's Conservative and one's Labour, so you get a really balanced view every week. But it's really good. It's really good. A good watch, you know. And there's another one called The Rest is Football with Gary Lineker, Alan Shearer, and Micah Richards. That's a good watch too, you know. But,
brilliant. They're a good little tag team them together.
Yeah, they are actually. Yeah.
So I want to say a massive thank you to Kate for joining us this evening. A massive thank you for Des for stepping in and being an amazing co-host, as we knew that he would be. And everybody get down to the Palm House to see Kate and the team. And Kate, I'd just like you to finish with your closing quote mantra that you live by.
Oh, well, first of all, Helen, thank you so much for having me on. It's been a lovely way to spend a Tuesday evening. I hope everyone listeners enjoyed it. It's been a real treat. My closing mantra is, oh gosh, I live just enjoy, don't take anything for granted. Really be present and like appreciate everything. If you appreciate the little things in every day, then you soon realize how much those little things are the big things. So just be happy in your everyday life, not just waiting for the weekend or the next big holiday or whatever big plan it is. If you're just really present and mindful in the day, then every day is a happy day. And that's how I try to live my life. I feel very lucky that I am able to live my life like that.
Brilliant. Thank you very, very much. Thank you for giving your time. Thanks to Des. And we'll see everybody next week. Night and take care.
Nice one, Kate. Well done. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thanks, Ellen.
See you later.